Hi, everyone. My name is Faith Eason. My business is for Focal Safety Management. I'm a safety enhancement specialist. And what I mean by that is basically most workplaces know about some form of safety or other. So what I do, I go in and I help them fill in those gaps. So in other words, is what they don't know, I help them with that. So it could be different things. Most times when a business calls me in, they would ask me, they basically would say to me, oh, look, I've got some systems and processes in place. And where do I go from there? So what I do, I'm an auditor as well. So I go in and I'll do an audit. So why is an audit so important? An audit is important because it identifies any gaps that you might have in the system. You know, often you will, no matter what you are doing, you want to ensure that you've covered yourself from different aspects. So particularly with work health and safety, this is a legal requirement. So you want to protect their business and to ensure that you have covered every possible avenue in terms of your workplace. So an audit, what an audit will then do is will help to show you where you're going. So if you choose not to use an audit, to give you an example, if you choose not to have an audit, imagine if you are thinking that you're on track and you continue on that trajectory. So which means you're going in the wrong direction. It's just like when you have a map, you're following the map, you take a wrong turn, you continue on that wrong turn without checking. So if you think of most times when you're traveling, you know, you're traveling a long distance, but along the way there's little landmarks, or there's little. So if you're doing a long trip, you basically say, okay, the next town is this one, the next town is this one, or the next street is this one. So that keeps you on track because you're identifying each step of the way, you know, that and that ensures you're going in the right direction. So if you don't have an audit, particularly with your health and safety systems, how do you know that you are compliant? How do you know that you're protecting yourself and the business from any form of penalties or litigation? And often you don't. Somebody else needs to come in and have a look. And I mean, it's so good if somebody comes in and says to you, which would make you feel good if somebody comes in and does the audit and says to you, look, you're spot on, everything's in order. You feel so much more, what is the word? So certain, you know, so confident that, look, we've done the right thing. We're doing the right thing. We're on track. So in the same way, it's important to have that audit done, because if you're not checking that you're on the right track, that could take you in another direction. One of the examples I always use is, you know, if you think of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, what happened? They kept building, and they could see that the building was tilting, but they kept that way. It might be popular today, but the reality is it's just got a history behind it that it's not what it was meant to be. People are visiting it for the wrong reasons. And maybe lucky enough because it's a building. But when you're talking about workplace safety, you're talking about people. You're talking about injuring people. And if you're going to injure somebody severely, that they have some permanent injury, and in some places there's fatalities, your business is going to be remembered for the wrong reasons and the guilt that goes with it. So I suppose what I'm saying, audits are really important. They're important because one, they will help you to get that third eye to look at it and come back to you and say, you're on track. Or their third eye will come back and say, you got A, B, C, D, correct? This is the gap that you have. You need to do E, F, and G. And once you're able to do that, at least you're confident, So if a safe work inspector walks in and wants to maybe take a look at your systems or your processes, that anxiety is not there. And that's really important. I've had a number of clients that have spoken to me about the experiences when a safety inspector comes in to look at their systems and processes. It can be so stressful for them. But I have other clients that I've been working with, and the inspector comes in within a few minutes, has a look, oh, that's going fine, and he walks out, he's happy with it. But others would talk about how, it's maybe like, for instance, like it could be that they got an anonymous call, whether it's from a disgruntled worker that's basically said, look, they're non-compliant with A, B, and C. An inspector comes in, has a look at whatever A, B, and C was that this person noted, but they don't only look at that. They will inspect your whole plant. So at the end of the day, they'll come up with a long list. You're non-compliant with A, B, C, D, infringement notices. And that's what makes people so nervous. So as much as possible, if you have that audit, if you have that person that comes in, has a look, but again, make sure you're employing a person that has a good reputation, that is known for coming in and being thorough. Not someone that's saying, this is what I do. And because maybe they're talkers, as I call them, they're very articulate, and they're telling you all these wonderful things, and they're really not doing the job properly. So sometimes it's good to get other opinions or to talk to other consultants and make sure you got the right person that's going to give you a true picture of where you're sitting with compliance. So in a nutshell, audits are really important. They're going to tell you if you're on track or if there's things you need to attend to. And if you're off track, at least it will bring you back and puts you on the right trajectory. So thank you for that. What I will do in my comments, I'm going to add a link to my website. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. I give a free 30-minute free consultation. I can talk to you about that. So have a good night. Thank you for listening.